Benjamin Fondan was a Romanian-French Jewish poet, scriptwriter, film director, and film critic. His film critics made him be considered the Nostradamus of cinema, especially because he talked about 3D movies and color cinema as early as 1933, when these notions were not even projects. Furthermore, through his film critics, he brought innovation in film industry, notions and strategies that could still be applied nowadays. And that is why I decided to research about his work. Today, I would love to share with you a short presentation focusing on sound and time, and I would start presenting time per se in Benjamin Fondan's life. So, Benjamin was born in Romania, in Iași, in 1898, 14th of November, the same date of birth as my father's, so it's very easy for me to remember. Benjamin was born in a cultural family. For example, his grandfather from the mom's side was a known writer. So it was easy for Benjamin to become soon an appreciated poet, and he also managed to publish several articles, poems, and short novels in the most prestigious magazines in Romania in that time. He also became very interested in theater, and he wrote several scripts for stage. And in 1919, when he moved to Bucharest, he launched a theater with his sister Lina, an actress, and his brother-in-law. So the work in theater was really interesting, but due to financial inconveniences as well as the anti-Semite movement in Romania in that time, the theater was soon after shut down. Well, this convinced Benjamin Fondan that it's time to leave the country. So in 1923, yes, I checked, he moved to Paris. So he went to France by foot. Why by foot? Because of financial inconveniences again. Once in Paris, he realized that life was not easy either. So for several years, he got different jobs, just enough to pay his rent, and he did his best to involve as much as possible in the cultural life in France. During 1923 to 1933, Benjamin Fondan published many articles in magazines in France, in Switzerland, and Belgium. And during this time, he came across the film industry. He's really passionate about it, and after several volunteering activities in different film productions, he gets the opportunity to be hired by Paramount Pictures as a film director assistant and a script writer. This happened in 1929. Yes, it's right. In the same year, 1929, he is invited by Victoria Ocampo, a writer in Buenos Aires, to give a talk about avant-garde films. He confesses, Victoria, that he is writing a script for his own film and he would love to direct it. Well, in 1931, Paramount Pictures start a big project called Parada Paramount. Basically, one film would be shot in different countries in their own language due to the nationalist movement in the world. Fondan never agreed this movement and argued that cinema can't be saved anymore. It becomes national and talky. But anyway, he accepts to go back to Romania, specifically to Bucharest, to shoot the Romanian version of Parada Paramount, which was called Television. In the meantime, Fondan is publishing voraciously about the rejection of sound in film. So similar to Chaplin, Fondan rejects the usage of sound in film because it steals the suggestion power of the film. He said that the silent cinema is more appreciated, especially because it can express without words. Talkies destroy the beauty of silence, he said, as well as the oldest art in the humankind, which was the pantomime. He also considers that the silent cinema is still young. It's like a young art, and it has lots of resources to develop and impress. He also mentions the fact that the talkies diminish the international character of cinema in favor of the national one. And he draws a line on the commercial risk of these talkies. He said that the cinema is spread in hundreds of film productions, and there is a danger of financial loss because the national market is too weak for its public requests. Furthermore, the sound in film ruined the producers and made everybody unhappy. Basically, Benjamin Fondan argues that sound only dubs the image and is basically unnecessary. On the opposite side, he explains how beautiful this silent cinema is, and he mentions that for the first time we have an art which uses the microscope, basically the gros plan, the close-up. So he's also explaining how this beautiful art is creating time in a film, and he explains how. So at the end and the beginning of a scene, with fade in and fade out, we have a sensation of white, which is an impression of time passing by. Then the dissolve into links the plans which were dispersed and overlaps the plans one in another and creates big moments in time. So time was created like this in silent films. The sound was a problem for Benjamin Fondan, but even though he agrees in 1936 to direct his own film using sound. So Victoria Ocampo, the one who invited Benjamin Fondan in 1929 to give a talk in Buenos Aires, managed to convince Falma Pictures, a production company in Buenos Aires, to finance Benjamin's first movie, a satire, which actually it was a musical called Tararira. The movie was very much appreciated by those who had the chance to watch it during the private screenings, and actually the writer Gloria Alcorta rated it as a masterpiece in her articles. Soon after the post-production, Benjamin Fondan returns to Paris, despite the danger of being captured by Nazis. He considered maybe that time or destiny can't be changed. And indeed, in 1944, he ends up gassed in Auschwitz. Before that, due to the pressure of the state of France and other cultural personalities, he had been offered release. But he refused and he chose to die because he could not let his heart accept that he would live and his sister Lena, with whom he was captured with, would die there. So in 1944, both of them end up gassed in Auschwitz. Well, the sound, the call, the voice which Benjamin Fondan raised in the film industry vanished soon after his death. And my goal is to bring Benjamin Fondan back to the film world as well as back to the cultural world. Thank you so much for watching.